Welcome to Mid Semester Revamp week day 5. So today I'm going to tie everything together for you because this week was designed to help you to really put in place everything it is that you need to be successful as a student. Like I said on day 1, everything that you need to turn things around, to get back on track, to finish the semester stronger than you started is everything that you needed to be focusing on from the beginning of the semester. And so what I did was I strategically released videos during this mid-semester revamp week for you to put those foundational skill sets and steps in place so that you can start the process of getting back on track, doing what needs to be done to finish the semester with a higher grade than you would have if you've just had given up. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I just want to recap everything that we've done so that you can see it all laid out exactly the way that I intended you to lay it out with mid-semester revamp week. So on day 1, I really just gave you an overview of everything that we needed to be focusing on this week to finish the semester strong. So I talked about the 2 reasons why students end up mid-semester not getting the grades it is that they want, having to rush and cram and do everything and anything that it takes to get the grades it is that they want to not fail the class. The reason why students don't succeed is number 1, because they actually don't have the study skills and they don't have the time management skills in order to be able to succeed. So this is a lack of skill set, a lack of knowledge. You don't know what to do to write your notes. You don't know what the most effective way of studying for your classes is, right? So it's a lack of skill set. The second reason, which is where most students fall into, is that you know exactly what you need to do to succeed. You're just having a really hard time sticking to it. And because you're having a really hard time sticking to it, you're not getting consistent results. You're not getting the results that you would have gotten had you just stuck to the plan that you had in place. So again, you are going to fall into one of those 2 camps. You either really don't have the skills because you were never taught, no one showed you how to take notes. No one showed you how to write an effective paper. No one told you how to prepare, study, learn, and retain information for an exam. Or you have an idea of those skill sets because someone taught it to you in high school, or you took a class in college your freshman year, or you've been watching a ton of YouTube videos to try to help yourself learn those skills. And even though you're aware of those skills, you're not consistently applying them. You're not sticking to them. They're not really a habit for you just yet. And if they're not a habit for you, if you're not sticking to it, if you're not taking the actions, you're not going to get the results that those actions are supposed to get you because you're not taking the action. So it's really important that you identify where you fall into. And in day 1 of mid-semester revamp week, I gave you specific examples of how you know which one you fall under. Okay. I also laid out the 3 things that if you just got really good at these 3 things, you would be the type of student that you can be thrown into any course, any class, any semester, and end up on the dean's list, have a ton of free time to just chill and relax, and be a really cool, calm, and collected student because you know what you're doing, you know exactly what to focus on to get A's, and you're able to create a balanced schedule where you're doing a great job managing your personal life along with school, along with the full-time job, as well as being able to take care of like the things that you just want to do for fun. If you want to be that type of student, on day 1, I told you that just get really good at learning how to make an effective study plan, get really good at learning how to create a balanced schedule, and get really good at learning how to get yourself to stick to it. If you just focused on practicing and getting better at those 3 things, again, you will be the type of student who earns really great grades and has a ton of free time throughout the semester. Day 2, through day 5, so through today, what I have done with the mid-semester revamp week is I have gone into detail on exactly how to create your study plan, how to create your study schedule. And today we're going to be covering how to stick to it. So on day 2, I helped you to create a catch-up plan. So this is something that I do with the students that I work with inside of my program, Educated the Art of Becoming a Good Student. If they ever come to me and they're like freaking out, they're a hot mess, they don't know what it is to what they need to focus on, the first thing that I have them do is sort of a brain dump. And what we do is, like, they have this entire mess inside of a bucket. I ask them to pour the bucket out and we organize it. That's what I helped you to do on day 2 with the catch-up plan. So if you have a lot of assignments right now that you have to get done, that you're behind on, or a lot of things coming up and you don't know what it is that you need to focus on, what you need to catch up on, what needs your time and attention, and what you need to prioritize, go back to day 2 of mid-semester revamp week, because I help you to dump that bucket out and get it all organized so that you know exactly the steps that you need to take to get back on track and create some sort of a plan for yourself. Day 3, I taught you how to create a balanced schedule, because the reason why you ended up here is because you probably weren't doing a great job of deciding what you were doing with your time, and time escaped you. And now you're feeling rushed and behind. So on day 3, I walked you through the steps of creating a weekly schedule. And the reason why this is important is because if we're going to create a study plan, which is what I taught you how to do on day 4. If we're going to create a study plan, we need to make sure that you actually have the time to do the things that are part of your study plan. So we help you to create a balanced schedule to see where it is that you are going to be dedicating your time to studying, where you're going to be dedicating your time to doing the fun things that we do being human beings, and where you're going to be doing all of the other life things that you have going on, like taking your kids to and from different places, working part-time to full-time, taking care of groceries, meal prepping, house stuff, anything else like that. So once you have a really clear plan of where all your time is going, and you know exactly where you want to be spending your time, and you've carved out that time, on day 4, I taught you the framework for creating a really effective study plan. So these are the actions that you take to help you to learn the material, understand the material, and retain the material that you're learning in your college courses, so that you're able to write papers with that material, you're able to answer questions on an exam with that material, you're able to demonstrate your expertise in any way, shape, or form that your professor will ask that of you throughout the semester, whether that's an assignment, whether that's a quiz, whether that's homework, whether that's a presentation. If you know how to learn the material, understand it, and retain it, you can basically hand in anything, take any exam, and know that you're going to get an 85 or above. So I taught you how to do that on day 4. Now, today on day 5 is probably the most important piece of all of this, because we're going to tie it all together. It is not enough for you to be aware of what your problem is, to know what it is that you need to get done, to carve out the time for it, and then to have the study strategy and plan in place if you're not going to follow it, if you're not sure how to get yourself to actually do it. Because again, the whole reason why you ended up here watching this video, where you're trying to figure out how to get all this done and get back on track and get yourself together and really just become that student that you thought that you were going to be at the beginning of the semester, is because you weren't consistently studying all semester long. You weren't consistently creating a study plan all semester long. You weren't consistently creating a schedule all semester long, and you weren't consistently doing those things. And so it all piled up. Now you're a hot mess. trying to figure it all out. And so I want to explain to you why this happens, because it isn't your fault, right? One of the things that you have to understand when you are part of the She Rocks at College community is that we approach our college experience with a lot of compassion. We approach our college experience with a lot of self-understanding and self-love. And what I mean by that is we deal with the facts that we are human beings. And human beings have human brains. And there's a certain way that our human brain has evolved and developed that sometimes can cause us to engage in ways of thought, engage in behaviors that don't always help us to get to the goal it is that we want. And when you learn how the human brain works, you can learn how to rewire and reprogram your brain to engage in thoughts and behaviors and emotions that help you to earn better grades and have more free time. So the reason why it's hard to stick to your routines and your schedule, even though you know exactly what it is that you need to do, is because you have a human brain. And the human brain has two main parts that we're going to focus on for today, okay? The first one is the prefrontal cortex, okay? This is your conscious mind. This is the part of your mind that allowed you to type into YouTube, how do I raise my grades mid-semester? It's the part of your brain that is paying attention to me talk right now, who is aware of what it is that I'm saying, who is thinking and who is conscious with what is happening in this present moment, okay? I call this the decision-making part of your brain. It is the most evolved part of your brain. It's the part of your brain that's responsible for being focused and setting goals and thinking about your future and thinking about what you're thinking about. It's the part of you that is thinking about what you're going to have for lunch or thinking about how you're feeling in this particular moment. That is your conscious mind, or the scientific term is your prefrontal cortex, okay? So this is the part of your brain that decides at the beginning of the semester that you want to end up on the dean's list, that you want this semester to be your best semester yet. It's the part of your brain that right now is getting super excited about everything that I've taught you over the course of this week and cannot wait to get started, okay? To get everything together and finish the semester strong. You also have another part of your brain that's called the cerebellum/brainstem, okay? And this is your subconscious mind. This is the part of your brain that's responsible for habits and patterns and anything that happens in your body automatically that you don't have to think about it. So breathing, digesting, all that sort of stuff. It is also the part of your brain that is responsible for patterns and routines, okay? This part of your brain is wired for survival, okay? The point and the job and the purpose of this part of your brain is to keep you safe and alive. And the way that it does that is by focusing on three main things. And this is called the motivational triad, right? So this part of your brain is motivated by seeking out pleasure, because typically pleasure is associated with staying alive. It's motivated by avoiding pain, whether that's physical pain or emotional pain, because typically pain, whether it's physical or emotional, indicates that we're in some sort of danger, that we're not safe, right? That there's a potential that we might lead down a path that will kill us. And this part of the brain is also motivated by conserving as much energy and effort as possible. And the reason why it's motivated by that is because it wants to make sure that in a life and death situation, you have the energy, the calories, the stamina to be able to protect yourself to stay alive, okay? So I want you to notice that these two parts of the brain sort of compete against each other. They're two separate parts of the brain, right? You have the prefrontal cortex that's responsible for your growth and your evolution, and it's thinking about your future. And then there's this part of your brain that just wants to keep you safe and alive. And it's worried about you being in pain, whether it's physical or emotional. It's worried about you conserving energy. It really wants to make sure that you feel good all of the time, because it knows that if you feel good all of the time, you'll stay safe and alive, right? And the way that it knows what's safe and what will keep you alive is based on learned behavior, right? It's based off of your past, right? It has memorized, it has created patterns and habits of thinking, habits of behaving, that have kept you safe and alive up until this point. And one of the ways that this part of the brain meets its need to conserve energy is by doing what is familiar. So it will keep thinking the same thoughts over and over and over again. It'll keep doing the same actions over and over and over again, even though you might be aware that when you think that way, it doesn't get you what you want, or when you act this way, it doesn't get you what you want. It wants to keep those patterns, those habits, and those behaviors, because it has a lot of evidence that if you just keep doing that, doing what's familiar, you'll stay safe and alive. This part of the brain does not want you to do anything new, because it doesn't have evidence that you will survive that new thing will be safe. Your prefrontal cortex wants you to try new things. It wants you to grow and evolve. So these two parts of the brain can compete against each other, but they can also work together. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. But it's really important for you to understand that even though you know better, sometimes it's really hard to do better. Even though you have a desire to be a great student and to study consistently and to learn and to earn better grades, you might be competing against old patterns and behaviors that keep you stuck and struggling and confused semester after semester after semester, okay? So I want to just demonstrate to you again the difference between this conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is the mind that says, I want to get an A in calculus this semester. And this might be your third time taking calculus. Your subconscious mind, remember, it's that part of the mind that wants to do what's familiar, that doesn't want to try new things, that's really just wants to keep the same patterns, right? That part of the mind says, yeah, but you've never been able to pass math before. You haven't been good at math. You're just not a math person. The conscious mind, right, that prefrontal cortex, the one that wants you to grow and evolve, it's a part of you that at the beginning of the semester says, this is going to be my best semester ever. I am going to study a little bit every single day. I'm going to stay on top of every single assignment. I'm going to keep up with the reading. I'm going to keep up with my notes. I'm going to make sure that like I'm just on it all semester long. And then your subconscious brain is like, yeah, but you're a procrastinator. I don't think that's going to be possible. Your conscious mind is a part of you that at the beginning of the semester says to yourself, I'm going to manage my time better this semester. I'm going to make sure to give myself breaks. I'm going to take every weekend off. I'm just going to focus on studying Monday through Friday. And then your subconscious mind is like, you're too busy for that. Like, you cannot take every weekend off. There's no possible way that you're going to get everything done. There's not enough time to do all of those things. Again, it's feeding you old patterns, old behaviors, so that you keep doing the same thing over and over, because it knows that if you keep doing the same thing over and over, you'll stay safe and alive. And yeah, you'll stay safe and alive, but you'll never be consistent. You'll never get the grades it is that you want. You'll always have to be choosing between a social life and good grades if you listen to the subconscious mind. And the thing with the subconscious mind is that those thoughts and those behaviors are automatic. They're just happening in the background, and you're not even like consciously aware of it. and you just think, oh, it's because I'm self-sabotaging, or it's just because I'm not good at this, or I'm just like not that type of a student, when really it's just you have old programming that's running the show. Your conscious mind, right, is the mind that is on this mid-semester revamp week and is thinking to itself, I have all the steps. I know exactly what I need to do. I have my catch-up plan. I know how to manage my time. I know how to create a study plan. I know how to create a study schedule. Clarissa's teaching me about the brain right now. I'm good. I'm going to apply all of this information. I'm going to do it on my own. And by the end of the semester, I'm going to go up by a letter grade. And then your subconscious mind is like, that's what you said at the beginning of last semester, or actually this semester, when you had found that other YouTuber who you learned about mind mapping from and who taught you about the Pomodoro method, and like you started using Quizlet, and then you never stuck to it. And it didn't even work for you. And it's like you're always trying to do all these things, but you're never sticking to it. You're never succeeding. You're never getting the grades it is that you want. And when you believe your subconscious mind, because it will just present old patterns and behaviors and programming, and if you're not consciously aware that that is what's happening, you will just keep doing the same thing over and over again and wondering, what is wrong with me? How come I can't get it together? Why is it that I keep failing? And what many students do is that you then shame yourself and tell yourself that you're bad and it's you. And what I want you to understand is that it is not you. It is just that you have a human brain, and this is what human brains do. And there is a way that you can work with your human brain, that you can work with your conscious and subconscious mind so that they work together towards the same goal it is that you want to achieve, and stop competing against each other. And I'm going to teach you that right now. So the subconscious mind is made up of deep-rooted and well-practiced thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that it has learned to do to help meet the need of keeping you safe and alive, okay? The only reason why you do these things is because you have a lot of evidence from your past that when you do that, it helps you to get your needs met, okay? However, sometimes the way that we've learned to get our need met of being safe and alive in the past isn't the best way to get that need met in the present. But again, because the subconscious mind is deep-rooted beliefs and thoughts and feelings, and all I mean when I say that is that the way that the subconscious mind gets programmed is through repetition. So you experiencing the same thing over and over again, you doing the same thing over and over again, you hearing the same beliefs over and over again, you saying the same thing to yourself over and over again, tied to emotion. So there's a lot of emotional charge, right? So many of you have failed classes before, and you have a lot of fear and anxiety of failing. You've been maybe shamed in the past about your grades, or you've been told by your parents that if you don't get good grades, you're not a good person or a good human, you'll never amount to anything in life. And all of those things are inside of your subconscious mind. And because your subconscious mind wants to keep you safe and alive, and it knows that if you, seek pleasure, avoid pain, conserve as much energy, if you don't do anything that requires effort, if you don't do anything that puts you in a position where you're going to feel guilty or shame or failure or whatever, you'll stay safe and alive. But again, while you will stay safe and alive, you are also not going to get the things that you consciously want, earning better grades and having more free time. So we need to rewire your subconscious mind by using your conscious mind. And here's how that happens. Remember how I said that your conscious mind, that prefrontal cortex, is responsible for what you're thinking in the moment, where your focus is in the moment, thinking about the future, etc. So one of the ways that you can rewire your subconscious mind is by making sure that you have a lot of awareness around what your patterns and habits are and the results that that has created for you in the past, right? So, and in your current life as well. So if you know that when you don't keep up with the reading, you don't keep up with the notes, it leads to you being 3 to 4 chapters behind and then having to cram the night before an exam. And then that cramming leads to you not doing as well as you want. You have to be aware of the patterns and the habits that led to that. So the patterns of thoughts, right? The patterns of emotions, and then the behaviors that followed. Because once you have that awareness, right, you bring those programs to your conscious mind and you see it. When I do X, Y, and Z, when I think X, Y, and Z, when I feel X, Y, and Z, it leads to me doing these types of actions. And when I do these types of actions, I don't get the grade it is that I want, or I don't get to have the weekend off, or whatever it is, right? You need to be conscious of those patterns and habits. Once you're conscious of those patterns and habits, you have enough awareness, you're present enough in your life that you're able to interrupt those patterns and those habits. So you're able to think different things, you're able to feel different things, and you're able to choose different actions, thoughts, feelings, and actions that align with your conscious goals, the goals of earning better grades, having more free time, getting on the dean's list, having weekends off during the semester, etc. Then once you know what your patterns are, you're interrupting them. What it takes from then on is just time, because you just need to repeat this over time. You need to be consciously aware, consciously choosing to interrupt those patterns over and 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 over again, until they just become who you are. Your identity as a person changes because you've been doing this for so long. It's just become a habit and it's ingrained in you. And that's how you end up being the type of student who always earns A's and B's, who always has the free time it is that they want, because you literally became a different person by rewiring your brain. And a lot of the work that I do with students is, about this repatterning and rewiring process. And I tell students all the time, like, the easiest thing is creating the study plan and creating the study schedule. So simple to do that. It's getting yourself to do it because of the fact that you're fighting against your subconscious mind, and we haven't been taught what I just taught you today to learn how to work with our subconscious mind and our conscious mind. That makes it hard to get what it is that we want. This is why a lot of the times you feel like you take, 1 step forward and 3 steps back. Like, you're so excited, you're gaining momentum, and all of a sudden you've fallen off your reading for 5 weeks, and then you're in this cycle of cramming and then taking a break and then cramming and then taking a break and then cramming and then taking a break, being behind, catching up, being behind, catching up, being behind, catching up. And it's because you haven't been able to build this consistency. And the reason why you haven't been able to build the consistency is because you haven't been able to change your behaviors. And the reason why you haven't been able to change your behaviors is because you don't know the patterns and the habits that are running in the background, that are just happening automatically, that are causing you to choose things that don't line up with what it is that you desire to create this semester. So, with all of that being said, this is the end of the training for Mid Semester Revamp Week. I just helped you to create the plan for how you're going to raise your grades by the end of the semester over the course of these past 5 days. Now, all you have to do is go out there and put all of this into practice and into work. And if you want me to help you create a study plan, create a study schedule, and learn how to stick to it all semester long so that you can start the semester strong, finish the semester strong, get the grades it is that you want, have the study-free weekends, then you need to get your butt inside of Educated, the art of becoming a good student. So Educated, the Arts of Becoming a Good Student is the program that I created for the college student who wants to earn better grades and balance college and life with ease. So what you get when you enroll into Educated is you get immediate access to the Educated process, which makes succeeding in college simple. So you're going to get really good at making a study plan. You're going to get really good at making a balanced schedule, and you're going to get really good at sticking to it. And I walk you through every single step of making a study plan, making a schedule, and sticking to it inside of Educated. So Educated is broken down into 3 main skill sets that you have to learn as a student. So when you enroll inside of Educated, as soon as you make your payment, you're going to get a login with information to go into the student portal. So you get a username and a password, and you get immediate on-demand access to the straight A study method. The straight A study method is where I teach you the study skills and help you to create an effective study plan, which again, as you notice, this is one of the 3 things that I said that if you get really good at this, you'll be the type of student who gets thrown into any class and you can bang out an A and B, no problem. Don't even break a sweat. You're able to still have a life outside of it, right? So the straight A study method is where I teach you how to create that effective study plan that'll get you A's and B's every time. In there, we talk about the skill set of note taking, the skill set of like preparing for an exam, the skill set of writing great papers and making it really easy. I give you templates and things in there that just make it plug and play. You know exactly what you need to do, exactly what you need to focus on, exactly where you need to take your notes from, what you need to read, where you need to be spending your time. It just makes it all like step by step, and you're able to customize it for every single one of your classes. You also get access to the Master Your Study Schedule method. This is where I teach you how to create a balanced schedule so that you have time to work your full-time job, you have time to attend your lectures, you have time to complete your assignments, you have time to read and take notes, you have time to actually do the work to retain those notes, and you have time to research and write papers along with grocery shopping and working out and taking care of yourself and, you know, dating a partner and spending time with friends. I teach you the process and the way that you need to think to create all of the time that you need for the things that you want to be spending your time on. You also get immediate access to the Master Your Mindset as a College Student process. This is where you learn how to work with your conscious and your subconscious mind so that you stick to the study plan and the study schedule. I give you all of the resources to help you to reprogram your brain so that you create all the motivation, all the discipline, all the persistence it is that you're going to need to achieve your goals. So I'm going to give you the details to Educated right now. So it's lifetime access to the program. What does that mean? It means once you're in until you graduate. You get access to the straight A study method, the Master Your Study Schedule method, and Master Your Mindset as a College Student process forever until you no longer need it, until you graduate. So you make your investment of $1,797 if you choose to pay in full. If you don't have $1,797 just hanging around in your bank account or on a credit card or borrowed from an aunt or whatever it is that you need to do, you can also do our 6-month payment plan, which comes down to $299.50 for 6 months until you pay off the $1,797 in full. This is a steal of a program. Why? Because you're basically paying a little less than $2,000 to ensure that you pass every single class that you take from now on. And if you pass every single class that you take from now on, you ensure that you graduate. And if you ensure that you graduate, you ensure that you land the job it is that you intended to land through the help of this college degree. This is a guarantee that you graduate. This program works, and I believe in it so much that I have an educated student promise. You either earn better grades and create more free time for yourself every semester with the educated process, or I will give you your money back. Okay, so if you know that you want to enroll right now because you want to work with me and you want me to help you to create a study plan that gets you A's and B's every time, you want me to help you to create a balanced schedule so that you don't have to put things on hold or feel like you need to choose between going out with your husband and studying, or going out with your friends and studying, or picking up an extra job and studying. Like, you want time for all the things that you want time for. And you want to learn how to stick to it, to be consistent, to actually show up for yourself so that you can create the grades you want and be able to relax when you have a day off and you're not constantly thinking about everything else that you need to do. Get your butt inside of Educated. So you're going to go to sherocksatcollege.com/educated right now to enroll. And while you're doing that, I want to talk to you about how I ensure your success inside of the program, right? Because I have that educated student promise. It is a personal goal of mine that every single student who enrolls in this program earns better grades by their next exam and is starting to learn how to create more free time for themselves. And the way that I ensure that this happens for all of my students is through my student success assets. So we have something that's called Ask an Academic Life Coach. It's inside of our student portal. And basically what it is, it's a question and answer text service type of situation. And you basically will go in there and you can submit any questions that you have about the educated process, about managing your time. Maybe you just watched a video on, how to take really great notes, and you have questions about how to apply it to your, let's say, chemistry course. You're able to go into the Ask an Academic Life Coach feature inside of the student portal and type in, I just watched the video and this is what I'm struggling with, and I don't know how to apply it to my chemistry class. And within 24 hours, Monday through Friday, I will respond to you with a very detailed answer. So you're able to get support around the clock. You can submit the questions 24/7. I typically check them quite a few times a day. So you will get a response within 24 hours, Monday through Friday, so that you can quickly get unstuck, so that you can quickly get out of confusion, so that you can quickly make decisions, take action, get back on track, earn those grades, and go live your life. We also have weekly live coaching Zoom calls. This is supposed to be a computer. Yes, I drew this and my husband was making fun of me because it's like, that is not an accurate representation, but this is a computer and this is all of us on Zoom together. So every week you get the opportunity to receive live coaching and feedback directly from me to help you, again, get unstuck. You get to ask all the questions that you have about the educated process, all the questions about your study plan, all the questions about your reading, all the questions about your notes, all your questions about Pomodoro, all your questions about anything and everything that you are confused, stressed out about, anxious over, can't decide about, to ensure that you succeed. This is designed for you to, again, not stay stuck. This is what happens. You don't know what decision to make. You are afraid that you're not going to be able to get caught up. You're afraid that you're not going to be able to pass. You're stuck in all of these this negative thinking, these thought loops, you're anxious, you feel alone. All of these things happen to us throughout the semester. And we don't always have a place to go where we can feel safe enough to ask questions, where someone understands, where someone's going to take the time to personally answer our questions until we understand what it is that we need to do. This is where that happens on the weekly Zoom coaching calls. And then we also have the educated Slack community, because y'all, I don't know if you've noticed, but being a college student can feel really lonely at times, especially if you're an older adult student, right? You don't really have a lot of people to relate to. It's embarrassing to tell people how you're struggling. You don't want people in your life to know, but also you need help, so you want to talk about it. This community here is where you're going to meet other college students who have also decided that they want to become better students, who are wanting the same things as you want, who are experiencing the same things that you're experiencing, and they have chosen to get the support from me. And you guys are going to be in there sharing your wins, sharing your evaluations, sharing all of the things that are going to allow you to earn better grades and create more free time. This community is amazing because it normalizes the college experience. It normalizes the ups and downs that we have emotionally and with our grades and with all the things that happen through college. It normalizes when shit hits the fan and what do we do? This is the space. This program is what college should be like, where you are being taught exactly how to succeed. And not only that, one of the things that makes this program so amazing, right, is because if I go back to the educated process, which is these 3 things that I told you to get really good at: make a study plan, make a study schedule, and then stick to it, is that you're going to learn how to do all these things inside of the student portal with the videos and the templates that I give you and all of that. You're physically going to practice it and do it with your notes, with your particular class. Okay. You are going to see what is working and what is not working through my evaluation process, so that you know exactly what you need to be changing and focusing on and tweaking, so that you get better and better and better, so that your grade continues to increase with every quiz you take, with every exam you take, with every paper you write, with every class you take, with every semester that you're in college. And if you're doing that, consistently improving, your GPA is going to skyrocket, your self-confidence is going to skyrocket. You're going to feel really good about yourself, which is going to impact how you show up in interviews and how you feel when you graduate and how you feel when you end the semester. I'm not just going to teach you these skills. The reason why I can guarantee students' success is because I teach students how to self-evaluate, how to be self-aware, how to ask themselves really great questions about what's happening for them, what they're creating in their life. They're so present that life doesn't escape them when they're going throughout the semester. They're making all of their decisions intentionally. And because they're making all of their decisions intentionally, they feel really happy about the decisions that they're making. They feel really proud about the decisions that they're making. And all of that impacts your happiness as you go throughout the semester. One of the things that's really important to me is that we start changing this narrative that, like, when you're in college and when you're in the semester, it has to be miserable and it has to suck. That's not true. That's not everyone's reality. And if you have these skills that you're going to learn inside of this program, you're going to start seeing how your whole entire college experience and life is going to change. You're going to be a much happier student because you have these skill sets. Okay. So I talked about all the things that I've included to ensure your success. So to recap, everything that you get inside of Educated when you enroll right now is you're going to get the educated process. So the straight A study method, the Master Your Study Schedule method, and the Master Your Mindset as a College Student process. You're also going to get the success assets to make sure that you have all of the coaching that you need, all of the support it is that you need all semester long, all the way until you graduate, to ensure that you graduate, to ensure that you pass. So that's the Ask a Coach feature, the weekly coaching calls, and the educated student community. And again, you get access to all of these things for life, meaning until you graduate and you don't need them anymore. So it's lifetime access. You get the educated student promise. You're either going to earn better grades and create more free time, or you're going to get your money back. So there really isn't anything to lose, and you just have everything to gain because your grades are going to go up and you're going to have more free time because this shit works. And you're getting all of that for under $2,000. Or if you choose the payment plan, it'll be $299.50 for 6 months until it's paid off in full. But because I want to make sure that you have everything that you need, I am including a 72-hour pay in full bonus. So for any student who enrolls within the next 3 days, the next 72 hours, and you pay in full, you are going to get a printed copy of the College Productivity Kit. So this is what that looks like. The College Productivity Kit is everything that I teach in the straight A study method, everything that I teach in the Master Your Study Schedule method, and everything that I teach with Mastering Your Mindset in a book. So it's basically the educated program inside of a planner. So you're going to get a printed copy mailed to you anywhere in the world if you enroll with the pay in full option within the next 72 hours. And I am also, I'm really excited about this. I'm also going to give you a private study routine revamp session. And I'm just pulling up my notes because I want to describe to you exactly the way that I wrote it out, what happens during these study routine revamp sessions. So we're going to spend 60 minutes privately, just you and I over Zoom. And I'm going to help you to evaluate your current study routine for the class that you're struggling in the most. We are going to figure out what's working. We're going to figure out what's not working. And we are going to really get nitty-gritty about what needs to change before your upcoming exam or your upcoming paper or your upcoming assignment, so that you know exactly what you need to focus on to ensure that when you do take that upcoming exam, when you do write that upcoming paper, when you do hand in that next assignment, it's an A or B. We're going to create a new study plan based off of that evaluation. You will use the educated study schedule method to put it all into your weekly plan. You will get to work to stick to it, and you're going to have all of the resources to be able to do that, because I'm going to teach you how to take control of this up here so that you do what you say that you're going to do. And then I'm going to be available to you every week on the coaching calls or via the Ask an Academic Life Coach asset, so that you can get all the coaching you need, so that you can get all of your questions answered, so that you know exactly what needs to be tweaked, and that you are fully supported with everything that you need, leading all the way up to finals and the end of your current semester. And then you just get to do it all over again with me the following semester, because you get lifetime access to the program. So again, if you enroll within the next 3 days, the next 72 hours, you'll get the printed copy of the educated process. This is basically educated in a planner. You're also going to get a private 60-minute study routine revamp session with me for the class that you're struggling in the most. So if you already know that you are in and you're like, I definitely want that 60-minute session with you, I definitely want a printed version of that college productivity kit, you can go to sherocksatcollege.com/educated and enroll right now. Educated is always open. Okay, we do not close the doors at any point because we are an international academic life coaching company. I have students all over the world, and students in Europe and Australia, they start on a different school system or a different school calendar than the US. So we keep the program open all of the time. It's just that if you want a printed copy of the college productivity kit mailed to you, because we do have the PDF version inside of the program, but if you want me to print out the copy and physically mail it to you, and you want to be able to take advantage of that 60-minute session with me, you do have to enroll with the pay in full option within the next 72 hours. And this is the website that you go to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the time to actually answer some commonly asked questions that I get about the program, so that you have all the information you need to make a decision. Okay, so I have my notes here, so let me just bring them out. Okay, so the first question that I get all of the time is just like the logistics of everything. So all of the videos and like the cheat sheets and templates that I give you to create your study plan, your schedule, and to master your mindset, it's all hosted on a student portal. So as soon as you make your payment, you're going to get login details emailed to you, and you'll be able to log into the program and get started with everything right away. The weekly calls, as of right now, they're hosted on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do record all of the calls, and I put those recordings into the student portal. If for whatever reason, because you're in a different country, or you have class during the time that we host the calls, or you're in evening classes during the calls, don't let that be a reason why you don't enroll. And here's why. Inside of the program, I teach you how to make the most of everything that's inside of the program, even the recorded coaching calls. And here's what I want you to know. Every single student who is in the program, y'all all have the same problems. Y'all all struggle with the same things. You all have very similar questions. So typically what will happen on a coaching call, and this happens all of the time because students are saying it while I'm coaching, is I needed to hear that. That's the exact question that I had. Like, this is the exact problem that I had last week. This is the exact thing that I'm struggling this week. So watching me coach another student or watching the recording of the coaching calls, it's going to be helpful for you because you guys are really all struggling with the same things. And so watching me coach someone else is also going to help you with your particular problem. But it also doesn't matter that you can't attend the calls live every single week. And the reason why it doesn't matter is because we do have that question and answer Ask an Academic Life Coach feature that you have access to all of the time. So any question you have at any time of the day, you can just submit it there and you can get your question answered by me. So you're getting all of the personalized support that you need, even if you can't be there live for the calls, okay? So I just wanted to put that out there because that's a question that I get a lot. And again, lifetime access means the lifetime of the program. So as long as I'm running the program, you'll have access to it. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So until you graduate, until you no longer need it anymore, semester after semester after semester, you're able to use the program, use all of the features that come with the program, the coaching, the Ask an Academic Life Coach feature, any updates we make to the College Productivity Kit, all of those things you're going to get access to free of charge. So you pay the $1,797, so $1,797 one time, or you do the payment plan and pay it off with the payment plan. And then that's it. You get to just benefit from the program class after class, semester after semester, which is great because with every class you take, it's going to take you creating a new study plan, and your life is going to change, and you might be switching jobs or switching hours, and you're going to have to create a new study schedule. You're going to have access to all of the steps and everything as your life changes, as your classes change, so that you're always supported, so that you always know what to do no matter how your life or your college classes change. It's the great thing about that lifetime access. Okay, so then the next question I get a lot is the question about, like, does your major matter? The answer is no, okay? Educated, the Art of Becoming a Good Student is a program that teaches you how to create a study plan, how to create a study schedule, and how to stick to it all semester long so that you can earn A's and B's and have more free time to do the things that you want to do. Every major can benefit from that. Every single study skill that I have inside of the program can be applied to any type of class. I have students from all types of majors in various different levels of higher education, graduate school, law school, PA school, like anything that you can think of, computer science, like everybody can benefit from this program. Why? Because we only focus on the study skills that actually help you to learn. And so it doesn't matter what major you're in, because this is going to teach you how to create a study plan for your major. It's going to teach you how to create a study schedule for your major. It's going to tell you how to stick to it based on your life, right? So it's like, it really doesn't matter. So again, don't let that hold you back, because you're going to be fully supported if you let yourself be supported. Another question I get a lot is it too late or too early for me to enroll? And here's what I want to offer you. If you are struggling to either earn A's and B's consistently, or you are struggling with balancing studying with having time for other things in your life, you need this program, and you need it now. And if you're about to start college classes, enroll now. Why? Because even though you're not going to have to build a study plan for another month or a few other months, you can be diving into the time management program. You can be diving into the mindset program. You can be diving into those things and learning how to manage your time with the things that you have going on in your life right now, getting really good at that, mastering that, so that it's like second nature to you by the time the semester starts. You can be going into the mindset program and starting to rewire and reprogram some of those beliefs that you have that have been keeping you from showing up the way that you want to show up as a student. And again, like I said, it takes repetition. It takes you constantly choosing new behaviors, new thoughts over and over, day in and day out, for an extended period of time, for those things to be rewired and reprogrammed. This is the reason why the program is lifetime access, because I do know that the way that the brain works, in order for you to really learn something, it takes time. You have to give it the time that it needs. And so I want you to have all the time that you need in order to be the type of student it is that you desire to be. If this is your last semester of college and you have struggled up until this point, and every single time the end of the semester comes around, you don't know if you're going to pass or fail, sign up. Let this actually be your last semester, and let it be the semester where you're actually calm and certain that you're going to pass. So you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to graduate. You know for certain that you are. The best time to enroll in the program is when you get told about the program and you think to yourself, oh my God, that's exactly what I need. That's the best time. All right. Let me see what the other question was. I think that's pretty much it. If you do have any other questions that weren't answered in everything that I already covered, then you can send me an email to hello@sherocksatcollege.com. But other than that, I will see you inside of Educated, the Art of Becoming a Good Student. Go to sherocksatcollege.com/educated and get your butt enrolled in right now, like right now. Because if you enroll right now, you'll be able to join us for our next coaching call. You'll be able to start submitting your questions and getting support and getting answers and getting to start working on your study schedule and your study plan and starting to turn things around and getting all the support it is that you need to finish the semester exactly how you want.